Okay. Hi, everybody. This is a backlog grooming on March 30th, and I'm on the phone, and Eric, Chad, and Chase are in the office. So,
Hello. Hey guys.
so
Hello.
let's go ahead with the sprint. Do you want to talk about? Do you want to tell something, Chad?
Sure. So I know Pune was out on Monday at an offsite, and half of Seattle is out today for the same thing. So I did a quick pass. We'll take a quick look at the current sprint. We'll see who's doing what, see if there's any updates, see where we're at, try to get a feel to make sure we can complete this, or if we need more stories. And then once we do that, we'll take a look at the next sprint and the backlog. I have some updates, but I'll wait until we get there.
Yeah, sure. So we have the first one as a CPO page redesign. So I think everything is in the branch. CPO logo enhancements and all. Is this done or it is in the branch, Eric? It's 4:15:34.
It's going out this week.
Oh, okay, 4:15:41 then.
Yeah. I forgot to update the story. I'll
Okay.
fix it. So continue on.
Yeah. Then next one is move image flex enhancement styles from page level to widget level. I think Ruth picked up this story and it's in the TTD. And it seems this is also is fixed actually. Research cross domain, browser logs that we discussed last sprint planning meeting. I mean, so we have a lot of stories in this bug fix maintenance. Okay, so let's go ahead with this one. Services. On the about service and paths page, some text has inline style with an important tag. Yeah, cool.
That's mine.
Yeah. I think this story hasn't been assigned to anybody, and it is kind of a UI task, I guess, right?
It is a UI task, and it was put
Just
into this. Yeah, it needs to be grabbed, and there's a couple need to be grabbed. Looks like.
yeah. So I think somebody from Pune or can pick it up and start on it and have time.
I might grab these two.
Okay.
We'll see we'll get to first because I have some stuff that I'm going to be finishing up today, and then I won't have anything, so I might grab these.
Okay, great. Okay, you want to assign it to yourself then?
I'll take one, and we'll leave the other one.
Yeah.
I'll assign it to me. There, I just assigned it.
Okay.
We'll leave the other one as is. The Flex
Image widget one.
6083. We'll leave that.
Okay.
So somebody else.
Yeah. Okay. So Pune, if you any UI thing like if you have nothing to work on, you can grab this 6083. And this is a UI story. So the next is issue with DSDM DevCore not working. I think this is fixed. I think a lot of people got a couple of emails in the weekend about the dev error. Yeah. So it's fixed, and thanks Neeraj for fixing that and following up on that. So I guess this can be closed. Yeah, so I think this can be closed. Maybe he'll close it. Neeraj, please close it since this is closed. I mean fixed. So staging leads issue, the other one. So this is the one the last week I was working on. So finally on Friday I fixed it. And it's in the QA trunk actually. So only in QA2 the leads are working now, and QA3 it will work next week. Like once the branch cut happens this week. And huge empty space after footer on all devices. I think these are all releasing this week, I guess.
No, not this week.
Not this week. It's in the QA branch.
Yeah, I think they might be. I didn't check these changes in. Let me
see when I check these changes in.
You can comment it
Continue
out.
on. Yeah.
Okay. I'm checking where is the comment thing.
45. Yeah, so I checked mine in on the 25th, which was what day? Oh yeah, so yeah, we got
I think all this stuff will go out in this week. I mean, it's in the QA brand, so these two are related to the above story, I guess. And flex image rotated not visible in RAW for non-master site permissions. This is also this week, Eric.
Yep.
Okay. Could you update the release vehicle?
I'm doing that right now.
Okay, great.
15.1.
Yeah. Okay. The next is ad hoc. So research. Okay, this I think Chad just created it. Research ability
Do you have
to
an update for that one?
I'll be after an hour. After this meeting and after an hour.
You're dragging your feet. I sent that at least 5 minutes ago. I also sent you a follow-up email on that one.
Okay, sure.
And just for the folks on the recording, Dilip was going to try to join us today for backlog grooming. Unfortunately, he got pulled into another issue. At the very latest, he will be officially joining the team on the 1st. So he'll be in our sprint planning session. And Radhika is going to be working with him and Ritesh to kind of get him up to speed, do a little training as well as kind of review everything that Radhika currently has open. Because this is Radhika's last week with us for 3 months. She's going on maternity leave after this week. We're going to miss her.
Yeah. Actually, does he have a sprint board access, Chad? Maybe we need to add him to the board.
I'm going to assume he has nothing. That's probably the safest spot to assume, right?
Oh yeah.
So that's why I sent Ritesh an email earlier today too about like if we can try to make it that as painless as possible and just do all those laps on everything.
Yeah.
So anyway,
okay.
We don't have to keep talking about it right now, but it's just something to think about.
Yeah. Okay. So the next is the create FT ticket for. These are all the sales event stuff, right, Eric?
Yeah, so all these ones I have in TDD, they're all assigned to me. They're all for sales events that are going out on 4/1. So I'm in the process of making the tickets, and I'll have those over to Fast Track in the form of Jira stories as I get the assets from Chase, which I have 2 of the 3 for now, and then we'll work on the Eastern one. But anyway, those are in process. They'll be done soon.
Okay.
The third one supposedly has no Chase work. They're doing their own assets, which means that they'll be messed up and we'll have to review them. See?
Okay, so these are also in progress, right? These are also for for Chase.
These are in review right now, right? Dana looking at them?
Yeah. Okay.
Last I saw.
Okay. So implement media tag. I think this is going this week, and the Lexus L CPU logo update. Yeah, and make universal CIC. You have a lot of stuff going this week, Eric.
Yeah. Little things.
Yeah. And this is adding media tag in ADF lead data. So yeah, this is also going this week. So I guess last week, Chad, we sent an email saying leads are working fine. I hope Lexus is verifying it in QA.
Yeah, Lexus was on your email, right?
Yeah. Mary was asking about it, and yeah.
Yeah, no, if I don't hear anything again tomorrow, I'll probably ping them, but otherwise, let's just assume that they're looking at it and that everything's fine.
Okay. So the release support, I guess, this Tuesday and Wednesday, Pune team will do it. And remove Windows design. I think, yeah, this is all completed and it's in the branch. I think everything looks good. So this is a move acceptance test broken into domain areas. So I have created a Confluence page for the breaking down our acceptance tests into domain areas. We just need to work with the teams to just transition it. I need to talk with Ritesh on how can this be done. So it's just in the progress. And Lexus service and paths page design elaboration. So this is for the creating assets. Okay, mockups for the tablet and
That's for Chase. There's a couple other ones to that story too, but Chase, I just emailed earlier today. He got it. Real quick, for service and product mockup, Chase and I met with the product managers, some product managers on Friday, and met again with Ben today. I don't foresee any dramatic changes to the mockup, but we may have a couple tweaks here or there, just based on usability and his experiences with it. I'd say the next day or two we'll have that nailed down. Chase, at this point, do you see anything that we've talked about that would dramatically change the LOE? I mean, we'll have folks take a look at it again, but we're not starting development. But at this point, I think that it shouldn't hamper anything. Yeah, okay. Which I don't think is going to, that's probably more detailed once you towards the end of the LOE. So, okay. So I noticed that the test made some notes on 6105. So if we have the time, we could start breaking these stories down further. So he made suggestions about UI engineers to take up these specific areas. We have 4 UI engineers. I'd say at the very least, we would want to have these stories broken down and sitting in the 401 release for sprint planning. Did anyone that through Ritesh's notes?
Until you pointed this out, there's no way we would see this.
Okay.
yeah, we're just looking at it now actually.
Sure.
Okay, so we need to come up with the stories for specific stuff and then create LOE together, right?
Yeah, and I could take a pass at this if that would help.
Yeah, I think
How about this? I'll take a pass at it.
okay.
I'll create more stories, and maybe I'll work with Ritesh and the folks in Seattle just to assign some names to it. It's going to be my best guess at this point, so we might have a little couple, hey, this person shouldn't do it, this person's busy, please give it to this other person. We'll have a little bit of that.
Well, looking at his comment, the first 5 things is the basic thing we do for LOE. So I don't know why. And then, I mean, this is all basic steps for the LOE. There's nothing new here. So if we need to make an LOE, then we know how to do it. You know what I mean?
Got it. Well, I'm starting to look at the so stories are broken in the following items research.
So this is basically what we did for CPO.
Yeah, and you know what? Maybe it's not a bad. So number 5, what default content do we need for Lexus? Chase and I did a pretty good pass at that earlier today, but maybe there's value to have someone else not in that conversation also take a pass at it, because it's nice to have 2 passes at it, especially after the CPO experience that we had. So 1 through 5 then sounds like a 16-hour create LOE story.
Yeah.
We should break up the page up in areas. UI engineers should take up specific areas since we have 4 engineers. She's talking about the create LOE rather than a 16-hour story. Create.
So it's kind of a breaking up each section in the page and create LOE for each of that and combining all of them.
Yeah, so 2 stories. So 1 and 2 would be Eric, since he's the only UI Seattle engineer. And then you take the first 2, and then the last 4 would be our 3 UI guys in Pune, and we come together with LOE recommendations and walk through it and overall solution. Okay.
Yeah.
So from this, you should have made 2 separate stories.
Correct.
One for me and one for the Pune team to work on.
Correct. So, is there anything else at the bottom here?
No, that's it.
Yeah, that's it.
Well, there's the attachment, but that's it.
So, basically, the first 5 will be in both stories.
Yeah.
The 1 through 2 Eric story, and then the 3 through 6 Pune UI story.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay. I'll go ahead and create that stuff for now. And,
what did you do?
yeah, Eric, what's your, do you have time to have to start this or no?
Because I'm pulling stuff out of the backlog like crazy.
Okay.
The backlog.
And then do you feel like the folks in Pune, it felt like a little light. I was kind of going through here and noticing.
Yeah, I think so.
Here's what I'll, got it. So here's what I'll do. I'll go ahead and sign the second story with the 4 points to one of the UI guys in Pune. I don't know, I'll just make someone up. And then if you guys can work on it together, and if you need to break the stories out further, go ahead. Otherwise, you'll see these all broken up and fit in this sprint. If you feel like you can't get to it, then let us know what you feel like you can't get to.
Well, I don't think this is when we can get to it, but when do you need the data by? When do you need this to be done?
Well, I would say this. If we're pulling things out of the backlog, this is higher priority.
Okay, we'll do that first. So if we need put it in this sprint, and it's higher priority, it needs to be done by Wednesday. That's right? Because that's when the sprint ends, right?
I would say this. I'm going to see the stories out as if they were due by Wednesday.
Okay.
But maybe someone might not be able to get through all 5 of these by Wednesday. Take a look at what you can get through and break the story further if you have to.
Okay, I'll look at it, and
Sure.
I'm thinking it's going to be much quicker when we split it up like this. Doing all 5 of these steps for 2 sections is not a huge thing to look at for me, and like 3 other guys are going to look at another set, so it should go pretty quick. So
We'll just say let's try to have it done in this sprint, and if we can't, then we'll talk about if that was an unrealistic expectation, and we'll just figure it out. But this will be maybe a nice benchmark to see going forward.
Yeah.
Perfect. I'll do that.
Okay, great. So the next stuff is about the program support. Document style attributes of all 3 Lexus designs.
Let's change.
Chase. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I haven't started on that yet.
Okay.
Okay, next is implement modifications to inventory search widget. Oh, I think Sandesh is in progress with it.
Yep.
Yeah. And unlock all fields for Lexus parts order form. I don't see any progress. Maybe Biswadeep is working on it. Update pixel tags on vehicle compare. Okay, it's in the QA branch then.
Going out?
Yeah. And create a list of Lexus pages that are not responsive. Okay, this is closed. Okay. Maybe can you send this to whole team, Eric?
I can.
Yeah. And the next
Oh,
one.
yeah.
Next
All I
one.
did is I went into the master site and grabbed every single page that was available in the master site in production, and then
Oh yeah,
pushed on
actually.
that layout XML, figure out which ones were responsive and whatnot. But you'll see the spreadsheet.
Yeah. Next is the lead support thing. Create LOE for SLP service. So this is all completed, right, Chad? So I mean, I think we do have one more meeting also. Actually, this Wednesday or something.
You do, and I did notice that there are 2 stories here, right?
Yeah, I think you created this one too, right? Research SLP.
I did.
Yeah.
The request has changed a little bit. So if you want to go through and figure out, okay, you've done an analysis on it.
Mm-hmm.
There's going to be a meeting at 9 a.m. on Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
I have a training and I can't go to it. You're going to go to it with Pritesh and Delete.
Mm-hmm.
And in that kickoff meeting, they're going to talk and you'll be able to ask questions. And then Ritesh also felt like there was more complexity in this request than they originally had thought. Remember that?
Yeah. 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 So after the meeting, we'll again come up with the LOE, right? Depending on the request, we'll come up with the LOE. So I think this is a story about that, and this is for the actual doing the task. Is this correct?
If you look at their acceptance criteria,
Okay. But this is also the.
You get broken down. 1 and 2 are probably something you can do in this sprint or have already done. 3 and 4 will be a story for the next sprint, since that'll be 9 a.m. on Wednesday.
Okay, but can we close this story then? The create LOE for new SLP service. This is also the kind of a similar one. Read and confirm, identify risks and create LOE.
Correct.
Both are for the same thing, right?
Well, it looks like you've done a lot of research in 6059.
Yeah.
So why don't you take the research from so you can close 6059, I think. So you can take the research from that, drop it in 6110.
Okay.
And then the last item, acceptance criteria 3 and 4, is 6110, to be a new story for next sprint.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. Okay. I'll do that after this. Yeah.
Cool.
Okay. Release the change CPU load lead being routed. So this is to remove the prospect tag attribute. So this is going out with this release, this week release. Then I think these are for the Pune building activities and session for Pune members stuff. So this will be closed, I guess, once these are done. So let's quickly go through the backlog. Okay. Okay, so we have the next sprint available, and 2 stories are available. I think this.
For the create the service with parts redesign, I'm going to keep that, but I'm probably going to change it to. So we're going to break the 2 stories down based on Ritesh's comment.
Yeah.
We'll try to get that done in this sprint, and then this will turn into. And it'll probably consolidate the research, have a discussion, and then create the IPD response and LOE. Because that'll be everyone coming together, right?
Yeah.
Perfect.
Okay. Discussion on incorporating AMP into Lexus. So this is for Ritesh. Okay.
Yeah, so for Tess and I, we're going to have some more stories coming in.
What is AMP?
Pardon?
AMP, what is AMP?
AMP is the Audience Management Portal.
Oh, okay.
Called Intent of personalized content. Basically, what this would do is we met with the product team last week, and what we're trying to do is we're trying to see if we can't get some base AMP functionality into Lexus. Unfortunately, all of this is built to work with Flex Plus. We're obviously not on Flex Plus, so we have to make some tweaks to have it work for us. And at this point, we're not trying to roll on everything. We're just trying to see if we can't get some basic intent coming in on potentially, inventory or VSR or VDP. Just suggesting, which vehicles that they may want depending on what they've looked at in the past. Right now, we don't know how far away this is. Ritesh is starting to think that we may not be as far away as other people think we are. So we're going to meet with them again. We're going to go through it in a little bit more detail. And then Ritesh, Dilip, and normally it would be Radhika as well, but we'll go through and start working with the team a little bit more on breaking this down into stories. Cool.
Okay, cool.
So the whole project for the 4.1 release will be creating a service of parts redesigned page LOE. And then the second highest priority from a billable standpoint is going to be either LDA offers or LFS. I will find out tomorrow morning.
Oh, okay.
We'll be starting development on one of those starting on Tuesday.
Okay.
So
Next.
I'll go ahead and update the sprint board tomorrow with whichever one it is. And the first task will be to have someone go through and create all the stories that we need for the project, which either one it is.
Okay. So you mean Tuesday, tomorrow, right? Not the next Tuesday starting. Next week. Tuesday.
Yeah. Tomorrow I'll find out which development project they want us to push.
Okay.
And whichever one, I will then create a story in the backlog, or actually I'll throw it in the 401 sprint, saying, build out the stories, do the development for which project, and that will be the majority of our week.
Okay. Okay, so maybe for now we will not drag any stories from the backlog. We'll wait till tomorrow and then see the which one we can pick it up.
It's probably a fair statement because both of them are sizable. And then the funny thing is, offers is going to be mostly back end.
Yeah, correct.
And LFS is going to be mostly front end.
Yeah.
So the one thing we know is half the team is probably not going to have a ton to do. So we'll figure out which items in the backlog make the most sense. But we can't really just start doing that now because we don't know which one's going to have a gap.
Correct, yeah.
I know we went through the entire backlog last week. Is there a need for us to revisit that?
I don't think so, because we pulled a whole bunch out.
We did.
It's down to 37 issues.
Yeah.
The only one I can think of that we talked about that's not on here is the item I sent out in the email on Friday, which is kind of a cleanup of the layout list.
Yeah.
Can you create a story for that one?
I thought we had one. I'll look and see, but if not, I'll make one.
Okay.
What I did notice in the backlog under bug fix and maintenance, the majority of the tasks under UI are gone. So if UI needs to pull up back-end tasks, we're going to have to pull from tech debt until we see something else.
Sure. Okay. Let's take a look at that. And then if you have to create the layout, let's clean up. I would just kind of go like we did with the other one, where let's make a list of all the layouts we have right now, and then just start like a spreadsheet of here's the ones we know we're using, here's the ones that we don't think should be used, and then start looking at a story on who's using them and if they're actually being used. It's fast to do that fast.
That's the main thing is we need to figure out if they're being used or not, because like we found out a couple weeks ago, pages that I thought were not being used were immediately told, no, yes, we are using those, and I don't know if that's true, if they're using them or not, or if there's any value whatsoever, but we need to figure that stuff out. And then, so we need to, because if we say we're going to delete some pages, we get a lot of pushback, always get pushback. Like, no, don't delete pages. That's why we have so many. So we need to go in and say, look, you're not using this, and we just need to present it correctly, that it's a benefit for them. And not to Lexus, but to...
Internal. No, it makes sense. Yeah, no, that makes sense. So, I mean, obviously, any, also too, with those pages that with layout, any that aren't being used, geez, that's really easy to say we should get rid of. So just we'll take a look at it and why. But then we'll probably see other ones where it is being used, but you still want to look to see where it's being used, because if it's being used for a 2011 sales event, or you know what I'm saying, it's like, okay, that's obviously, it's going to get flagged as being used, but it's not actually being used.
Right, I know what you mean. We have a lot of those. So.
We'll start doing that as well.
Yeah.
So I guess we'll have a lot more information tomorrow. I was pushing EF hard to try to get us this information today, but obviously didn't happen.
Okay. So maybe once we get the information tomorrow, we'll update this Springboard with corresponding stories.
We will.
Yeah. Okay. So you want to go ahead with the reviewing the backlog, or we'll do it next time?
We just did it. We just talked about that. We just did it last week, so I don't
Yeah.
know if there's a lot of value in going through
Okay.
it all again.
Mm-hmm.
As Eric just stated, it is pretty light on UI.
Well, the bug fixes are a lot on UI. There's a lot of tech debt that can be UI. I'm just saying that the bug fixes, stuff that we could finally fix or finally get taken care of, and so tech debt would be our next source of.
So if I'm looking at the first two forward, like there's 10 on the screen right now.
Yeah.
You're saying these are mostly back-end?
Yeah, so like we go from top down. The Pratik has the first one, and then Visudeep has the second one, and then we have semi-UI tasks there, and then the prod errors and
Prod error is a backend.
and prod errors. I mean, most of them are backend.
I think prod errors are backend. Yeah, but then there is some like responsive, lazy loading and responsive. These are all front end actually.
I didn't say everything was backend.
Yeah.
Almost a lot of it was backend, a lot of it's front end. But then we get down to tech debt, and it's a lot of front end stuff.
Yeah, correct.
So the other thing would be, it'd be easier to also understand when we can snag these and put them in if we had some type of estimates on any of these. So with the first step in a lot of these to probably have someone take a look and put an estimate on.
Yeah, that would help for sure. But some of them, like these analyze and resolve prod errors, there's 3 of the same exact stories that you'd have to go into each one and to figure out what the heck's going on. So I don't even know how that works.
Yeah, so I mean everything will be different, but yeah, we need to look at it and make up some hours for it. Who created it actually? It's Tushar created it. Yeah, I could look at some of them and maybe Pune team, if you have time, like just go through some of these errors and change the estimate hours actually. Assign some hours to it.
Yeah, or even ask some questions, or, you know, is this still valid, that type of stuff. I know people do a lot better job at that.
Yeah.
Keep doing that. Like Radhika used was that create WSM offer setting to disable. That's
Yeah.
like 32 hours.
Yeah, so this one actually, I think we are having back and forth email on it, and I think I didn't respond for the last email. I just realized. So it's still not there. Dana was saying it is there, you mentioned, but it is still not there. So we need to confirm if it is needed or not. I'll send a reply to that email and maybe you can follow up with Dana.
Sure. The other thing is, Radhika, if you could just, I know I've already told you this morning, but just with everyone listening, do a couple extra laps, especially earlier in the week, for anything like this, right, where you were been leading out on it, there's a couple emails back and forth, it's not tied out yet,
Yeah.
and now suddenly you're gone next week, and we're like, wait, what was this left off? It was like, I think Radhika was doing something. So if you could maybe try to follow up all those threads, and anything that you can't wrap up, if you could transition to someone else on the team.
Yeah, that's why like I'm just including everything, team alias or Ritesh in the CC so that yeah, they'll know about that. Yeah.
Sounds good?
Yep.
So we'll have a lot more stories in the backlog tomorrow.
Yeah. Okay.
And we'll also know which side of the team is going to be light on work.
Yeah.
And I can also tell Dana that we could actually start both development projects. I think Offers was almost like 80% end and Offers was almost entirely back end, and LFS is almost entirely front end. Yeah, that'd be cool.
Okay.
Anything else?
Yeah. Then we can close this backlog grooming, I guess. So bye everybody, and just look at this all the springboard and update the hours and everything. Stop.
And if you guys have questions, just go ahead and document all and send them over, and we'll talk through them.
Yeah. Okay.
Bye.
Bye.